Wade was, he was the love of my life, no doubt. I tell people in 27 years, I was probably loved more in that 27 years than most people are loved in a lifetime.
He sure was funny. Most of what I remember is him just being a goofball and making literally everyone in his life laugh way too much. He's also an amazing musician.
It was a Sunday. He had just preached down the house. It was probably one of the most magnificent messages I ever heard him preach. So that afternoon, I stepped into a conference call. He was going to go get the stuff we needed to have coffee. When I came out of the conference call, he had not made it back home. And the store was just around the corner. He should have been home. So I grabbed my keys and I hopped in the car. And as I rounded the corner, I saw the trucks. I saw the fire trucks and the police car, and 2 of my friends were right there with me when they gave me the really hard news that he was here, and instantly he was walking the streets of gold. So at that point, you're going through so much pain. And so thank goodness for my brother-in-law who thought ahead and knew that although I didn't want to think about that right now, I have to take care of 3 kids now, right? There's some repercussions to what just happened, some things that needed to be taken care of. And so actually it was my brother-in-law that reached out to the firm, to Toby.
The greatest fulfillment is when you meet a family at their most vulnerable time and they become part of your family. Francine immediately became part of the Cunningham Bounds family. All 3 of her children, Reagan, Peyton, Gracen, became immediately part of our family. They had lost their breadwinner. They had lost their father. They had lost their loved one, their coach. They did videotapes, the 3 children, on their own to show me what this loss meant to them. And there wasn't a dry eye at Cunningham Bounds watching those videotapes of those 3 children.
I remember getting a phone call, and it was from Toby. And he just gently and with great care talked to my heart. And he said, I know you don't want to think about this right now. And he says, but we have to kind of move because there are things that have to be investigated now. And we don't want things to go away. We need to at least investigate this. And he said, here's what I want you to just give me permission to do. Just give me permission to investigate. I will bring that back to you, and then you make a decision. And honest to goodness, I look back at that moment and I think to myself, what if he had not reached out? Where would I be right now? Where would my kids be right now? Would college have even been a thing that my girls could have done? I mean, there's just so many repercussions to a feeling that was so hard in that moment. Thank goodness for an attorney that thought beyond for me. And I don't think that's in every firm. I really don't.
There's no greater fulfillment in representing that family and getting them full justice and full compensation, number 1. But number 2, to take a company or a wrongdoer like that, to make them change their policies and procedures, maybe to remove a negligent employee so that another family doesn't have to go through what the Ivey family went through.
He said, what do you want from this? And I said, my husband always wanted 2 things. He always wanted to know that we'd have a roof over our head and that my kids would have some peace to be able to start their lives. And that's exactly what I got and more. So it was amazing.
A lot of time whenever I'm thinking about choices I'm making in my life of should I do this or should I do that, I try and think what would he tell me to do? What would he be doing right now? So it's just good to know that even all these years later, I still have part of him in me.
I had someone fighting for me. And honestly, as a brand new widow that didn't even want that title, that was huge for me. I mean, it was huge.